What do you stand for in life? How do you discern between right and wrong? And what is at the core of your character? What are your most fundamental values? Hello again, my name is Nicoleta Porosano, and today I will talk about one of the most important themes in our self-discovery, healing, and personal growth. Our values, the values that keeps our lives thriving and surviving and keeps our relationships happy and safe. Staying true to our values is one of the most important lessons I captured in my 5 decades of life. You can have the ideal physical body, the most brilliant memory or intelligence, whatever you want to call it, the best professional and social circumstance. You can have many titles and achievements, but in the long run, they will mean nothing if your values are not clearly stated and are not strong enough. Values are crucial for living a life of meaning and purpose. So today, I'm going to share with you the values that I have seen over and over again to keep our relationships happy and safe. I organize them into a staircase because one builds on the other, and in the absence of one, all of the upwards values cannot be sustained. They have no foundation and they just vanish. Let's have a look what I created for you. In my humble view, respect is the most important value ever. No relationship, no agreement, no contract can survive without respect. We respect the others when we consider their wishes, their needs, their desires, when we treat them with regard and sensitivity. It is a sign of respect to show someone appreciation for their abilities, for their qualities, for their actions, for their achievements, but at the same time to show them understanding for their shortcomings, for their weaknesses or mistakes that they make. For me, fairness and equality are in themselves a form of respect, and I consider them the foundation of a good character and the essence of a good life, of a life lived with morality. Now, from a psychological perspective, I could say that the lack of respect is often found in narcissism, in paranoia, in extremism, or in other antisocial behaviors. Respect is absolutely essential for healthy relationships, and it's crucial to building trust and cooperation, not just at individual level, but also at a national and global levels. Respect is the bottom step on the essential value staircase, and all of the other values build on it. The second most important value is freedom, which also means independence and autonomy. Freedom is for me the oxygen for our morality. We really struggle in life. We struggle to feel alive if we don't have the freedom. And at a social level, freedom is actually recognized as one of the most fundamental human rights. It gives us the power to act based on our interests, and it enables us to make decisions for ourselves. I feel that independence and autonomy derive from freedom, and I see them after respect as the most essential values towards a decent life. Now, from a psychological perspective, lack of freedom can lead to depression, to anxiety, to PTSD, and even to suicide. Relationships without freedom are abusive, become controlling, become very unbalanced. And freedom, independence, and autonomy can build on respect, on fairness, on equality, and sustain healthy relationships and a very happy life. The third step on my essential value staircase is authenticity. In other words, honesty and integrity. You really feel alive when you are authentic and real in life, isn't it? And all of the other times you feel inside like somehow you're faking life. When you are authentic, you are pure and you live from your truth, from your balance, from your peace. And honesty and integrity are a form of authenticity in themselves. I find authenticity absolutely essential for good mental health, because I noticed that in many illnesses, if not in all of them, they seem to somehow develop in secrecy, in withholding, in deceit. So, from a psychological perspective, lack of authenticity leads to addiction, to other types of conditions that involve obsessions and compulsions, like OCD, like eating disorders, like paraphilic illnesses or impulse control difficulties or PTSD, and so on. The absence of authenticity will kill your relationships, and the presence of authenticity in the absence of respect, of fairness, and equality can make relationships very toxic. The fourth step on my essential value staircase is kindness or care or compassion. They mean the same thing to me. Kindness is actually at the heart of human relationships. Some people I've heard, they believe that kindness is what's keeping the world going. And that might be the truth. Kindness means care and compassion. And these three qualities are very powerful. Together they lead to empathy, to acceptance, to tolerance, to forgiveness. They are all expressions of love in its largest form. These values are absolutely vital to a happy relationship with the self, with the family, with the other people, and with the world. From a psychological perspective, lack of love and connection is associated with psychosis, with self-harm, with suicide, and with low self-worth. Relationships become very painful and destructive if they are not surrounded by kindness, care, and compassion. Similarly, if someone, for example, shows a caring approach and lacks respect, lacks freedom, lacks honesty, that can make relationships quite suffocating and poisonous, isn't it? You really need these three values for kindness and love to have something to hold on. The fifth step on my essential value staircase is openness, or I call it peace or aliveness, whatever you want to call it, that's fine. Openness, in my view, is absolutely vital for healing and for personal development. Because when you are rigid and inflexible, you cannot really open to happiness, isn't it? But a curious attitude, which is accommodating of different opinions and is somehow receptive to new ideas and to new experiences, that brings aliveness, that brings vitality in someone's life. So when you are open, you feel at peace, you feel like you live in synergy and alignment with your true self. From a psychological perspective, lack of openness leads to addiction, to disturbed sleep, to physical illness. But openness in itself, it's not sufficient. You feel at peace, you feel open and alive when you lead your life with respect, with kindness, with honesty, with autonomy. You really need all of these values for openness and peace to have a foundation to hold on to. The sixth and the last value on my essential value staircase is awareness or presence or consciousness. Why is it important to have awareness? Well, it is important to be aware because negativity, hatred, selfishness, prejudice, bitterness, they all operate on low awareness frequencies. On the other end, we have love, care, compassion, kindness, understanding, acceptance, we have tolerance, we have forgiveness, we have gratitude, and they operate on a much higher level of consciousness. You can really be honest, you can be respectful, you can feel independent, you can feel compassionate, and you can experience life with openness and vitality. And I just named the 5 previous values. But if you don't have awareness, they mean nothing to you because you cannot capture them in the now, in the present moment. And from a psychological perspective, lack of awareness can keep us on very low levels of consciousness, operating from the darkness of our tunnel minds. And it provides no self-discovery really, no healing, no personal growth. When we live with respect, with kindness, with honesty, with openness, with vitality, with authenticity, we feel connected with ourselves. We feel connected with all of the others. And we stand a much better chance to actually grow awareness and access higher levels of consciousness. And why not higher levels of personal elevation? These are, in short, my 6 steps on the essential value staircase. Now, the question I get asked quite oftenly in my work, in my social life, in my private life is, can we actually grow these values or we are born with them? Let me explain how I see it. These values do not belong to us. They are not part of us. They are pieces of knowledge and intelligence. They are particles of energy that circulate in the universe. And sometimes we enter their frequency. We can say, hey, respect, hey, freedom, I like your vibration. Or we can think, what on earth is this kindness about? How can I be caring? How can I be compassionate when I have been hurt? When I have been abused? When people have treated me badly? Both of these scenarios are possible and valid, but they are again part of the knowledge and the larger consciousness surrounding us. And they naturally tease us and want our attention. However, it is entirely your choice how you respond to these values. You can value respect or completely ignore it. You can aim to be free or you can become dependent on others and things. You can be honest and you can be deceitful. You can be kind or you can be evil. You can be open or you can be obtuse. You can be mindful or you can be oblivious. You can make a choice at any moment in your life because these values are not mandatory. They are options that are unfolding in front of you at each moment in your life. And you can decide to embrace them or not. But when you embrace them and you keep them close to your heart, you give yourself access to a much happier and safer life, to more happier relationships. And you give yourself the chance to build that life that you dream of living. I am also asked sometimes, what if I can't always stay true to my values? Well, I am not perfect. You are not perfect. No one is. And you are a human being and you will make mistakes because you need to learn from them. The art is to learn to balance everything in life, including your values. And in such dynamic world, it is impossible to stay unchanged. As a human being, you can't stay unchanged. And the real skill is to observe inside of you what mind program you operate from and to stay quite true to your values, to take them into your account in every single action you take. And with practice, this becomes, your second nature. It did work for me, and it does work for me, and it works for so many other people that I've guided through their inner worlds. And the result is absolutely fantastic. We truly feel happier as people when we operate from our values. You know why? Because when you function in life based on your values, you operate from your village mind, from your choice mind. And when you do that, you are most likely aligned with your real self and with what is meaningful to you. And there is no doubt that what you stand for really shapes your life. So you can start right now. Strip yourself from all those false values and hold on to those values that are really important for you, that are keeping your 4 relationship circles happy and safe. That feels awesome. And it makes life so much more worth living. So now towards the end, as a takeaway from me, why don't you give yourself 1 minute? 1 minute for reflection and introspection and prepare for transformation. Take a piece of paper or take your journal if you have one and do a quick inventory of your values. Do it right now. Write down how you develop these values and who instilled them in you. And then make a choice. You might want to embrace some values, some new values, You might want to let go of some values, some of the values that maybe do not serve you anymore. You might want to take this further and reorganize some other aspects of your life. Do what you have to do. What matters is that you live by your values and you open to happiness every single second of each day. That's it for now. See you next time.